Hello, and welcome to the first and only English language edition of Baby Vegan Kitchen.
Andiamo.
I'm hungry, I am tired, I am depressed. The answer to all these problems is, you know it, comfort food. Now my cameraman tripping. As always, we have stuff.
Mise en place.
Here, this little bowl I'm gonna use for, you know it, peels and stuff. In the spirit of not wasting any of our precious time and nerves, we're gonna process these 2 onions in a handy dandy food processor. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Knife enthusiasts, please don't come for me. Another thing that can help in these situations is a handy dandy spatula, or the favorite tool of Baby Vegan Kitchen, lopatочка. Just make it slide down the sides a little bit more. And pray to God nobody's judging you. Oh, that should be good enough. And you can tell, because my eyes are already watering, meaning we have done enough damage. I feel like inserting like a therapy joke here, but I'm not gonna do it. Now that we're done with this, let's go to the other veggies. Ideally, you should have carrots, maybe mushrooms, or something along those lines. But unfortunately, I don't have any of that, and I am not going out today. We're gonna do the same thing to the celery, and I really hope that because it's like a sturdier, more fibrous thing than an onion, I hope the processor can handle it. Let's see. It can. And see, this saved us so much time, even though it's not gonna be perfect cuts. If any professionals are watching, please step away from the screen. Anyway, next we are going to deal with these little garlic cloves. Put as much as you want, obviously. I love putting a lot. That is my signature move. I apologize for all the professional haters of things that bring vegan food flavor. I don't know what to tell you. You can obviously do it without. Is it gonna be any good? I can't promise you that. I'm not gonna lie. Not looking at what I'm doing and looking at the camera feels very professional chefy of me. And actually just speaking English on here already makes me feel like I'm on TV, Food Network. Hire me. Bon appetit test kitchen, I'm your next star. So this is gonna be the base of our tomato sauce. We're gonna mix this with some canned tomatoes and some spicy canned pasta sauce. If you live in Tbilisi, you can also put a little bit of this amazing garlic confit from Nushoti. My friend Jordik makes this and it's really good. It's really nicely caramelized, and I don't know, can we use this oil for frying the onions and the celery maybe? What do you think? Does it smell good? I can't smell, as some of you know, but we'll do it anyway. This is gonna be our cheesy bechamel sauce for, you guessed it, lasagna? Did I say we're making lasagna? We're making lasagna. We're making lasagna. Now it's time to cook. Danger. Be careful with open fire in your home. We're gonna take some of this oil. Be generous with it, you only live once. But in all fairness, should be like a couple tablespoons tops. Anyway, we're gonna throw this in there. In 3, 2, 1, bow! I should have probably waited till the oil is hot, but this is good enough. Everything is good enough when you have low standards, which I don't normally. But today, for you guys, I decided to make an exception to seem more relatable.
A down-to-earth legend.
Absolute humble queen.
True relatability icon.
We're just gonna steam this up real nice, and I'll see you later. One more thing our pot desperately needs is some tomato paste. If you get distracted and things start to get a little too caramelized for your liking, you can deglaze the pan with a little bit of water. Or a little bit of wine if you're feeling fancy and just have some wine lying around, which I don't, because I quit drinking.
Look at me.
Oh no, I've been usurped. Who's doing this? Look, hands-free cooking. Next step, an ingredient I haven't shown you yet, but one you probably already guessed is gonna be in this, is lentils. It's lentils.
I think of this Lent.
Yes, it is Lent. Although by the time I post this, I don't know, maybe it's gonna be next year's Lent, we don't know.
We do know now. This was in her drafts for exactly 6 months, and before long it will be next year's Lent again.
Anyway, I took a whole giant can, just because I'm replacing all the other veggies with this basically. I have no mushrooms, I have no carrots, nothing. But I have this, so let's work with it. If you're new here, this is where vegans get their protein. Ah, in goes canned tomato. Blah, 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 blah. We have some arrabbiata pasta sauce. Blip, 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 blip. Don't forget to wash and recycle these. You could also use tofu or vegan meat, but we're going with what's available. Работаем с тем, что есть. And that is these beautiful buckwheat-looking buds of protein. Oh, by the way, did you know that lentils are called that because they look like a lens?
It's true.
They come from like a Latin word that was for lens.
Простите. Правда, вот честное слово, простите. Да, простите меня все.
More tomatoes then, I guess. And we can just cook it down a little bit to remove too much moisture if there's any. In other news, the other day I bought some Georgian purple basil, but it got dry on me so quickly. So we're just gonna reconstitute this. It's actually just as good as any dry basil seasoning you would normally use. So in it goes. Some more oregano. Don't be stingy. Put as much as you want. And this is some smoked paprika, by the way. And of course some pepper. And of course, nothing I make would be complete without the use of some soy sauce. Not a conventional ingredient in a lasagna recipe, but it's rich in umami. And this way you don't have to put any salt. Let's see my to-do list. We prep the ingredients, we prep the veggies. We're making the sauce, and while it cooks down, preheating the oven to 200 degrees. Voila! Now that this is cooking down on low, we're gonna make some vegan bechamel sauce with a little bit of cheese. First thing we do is melt some vegan butter or margarine, just no dairy, please. Keep it vegan. When you're making this at home, try to find vegan butter and vegan cheese, please. And vegan milk, because obviously this is typically a dairy-heavy sauce. But we're making it a little less bad. A little, not a lot, but a little better. As you very well know, this is a classic French sauce. Vive la France! Which is why it's so heavy on dairy. Anyway, now that our butter is melted, we're gonna add flour. And then you add it little by little, mix it together. And if you feel like the butter can't handle more flour, you're wrong. It can't, just like you. Look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I can handle this. I can handle more than I think. This is what this roux is teaching you, that you can handle anything, as long as it's vegan. As you can see, it's a little crumbly. Actually, I think this should be more a paste than crumbles, so maybe something went wrong with the type of flour I picked. But, alas, it is what it is. Now, we cook it together on low heat for like a minute or so, just to get the flour flavor out. Unsweetened soy milk. Let's go. And put your, what do they call it? Elbow grease in this.
Until it's bechamel.
Now that we've incorporated all the milk and it's all nice and creamy and uniform, we can add the flavoring, because right now it's just bland. Oh wait, am I out of nutmeg? Oh no, I have just enough. I love this little tiny spice thing. Why so small? Anyway, some nutmeg, like a generous pinch. Some garlic powder, be careful with that. I feel like that's enough. And finally, some nooch, which I think this is leftovers from my past life, but I think now they sell this in Georgia as well, so
I've seen it at Moss.
buy it at Moss. And since you can buy it here now, you can also be generous with it, because why not? To make it cheesy. It ain't gonna slide down easy if it ain't cheesy, says that person on TikTok. Now it's kind of boiling, so we're gonna turn it off. We don't want this to boil really. Let's put this nice, epic, mature Life cheddar in. And also just let it melt in there. If you don't have vegan cheese, you can just go for more nutritional yeast. But this is just gonna make our sauce very thick and nice. We're gonna reserve a little bit of this sauce for later. About half a cup. It's just, this is gonna be our last layer. And now, for the plating. We're gonna get some sauce. Tomato goes first. And just spread it around in a nice thick layer. Because you want the noodles to get all moist. Well, let's not get too worked up about it. This is good enough. Biba is here. Biba is here. Biba is helping me make lasagna.
Excuse me, what the actual fuck are you doing in my house?
Wow. These are like cardboard. Press them down.
It's like putting a screen protector on an iPhone.
Yeah. Doesn't require as much precision though, so it can be more relaxed. What do we do with this? Probably break these in two parts. It's not breaking. It broke too hard. Maybe I should break it this way? No! More tomato. Whoop. Whoop. Just maybe a thinner layer now, because it's not the base. Now listen to this appetizing plop. Just moving this around is very relaxing. It's like a Zen garden of food. Ah! Until it isn't. Considering this is vegan bechamel, it might kind of come apart. So you have to mix it again. That's fine. Let's just spoon some of that in there. Now also try to spread it around. It's not gonna look, what's the word, neat? But that's fine. Nobody cares. It's good. That's the only thing that matters. Now we put more pasta and make sure to get the corners because that's where it's at. You don't want no crusty corners. I don't know a person who likes the dry ass lasagna sheets. Woohoo! More bechamel. Not in a very ploppy mood, I see. I don't think you're supposed to mix them really, but it is what it is. Pasta! More pasta. Bow, 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 bow. So guys, this is she. This is her. She's kind of ugly. She's a little bit of a mess. But then again, who isn't these days? So we're just gonna plop her into the oven for half an hour. Remember the oven was at 200 degrees Celsius. Whoop. Whoop. Bye, see you later. Now, one of the final stages. Gigi has joined me for the most exciting part of all. We're gonna take the remaining bechamel, little bits, and mix it.
Be careful of the fire.
Be careful with the fire. Gigi's here to remind you. Don't play with it if you're a child. And even if you're an adult, maybe be careful with it. I made a little bit of a slurry from potato starch and water. And we're gonna add that to the remaining little bits of bechamel. And mix it all together. I'm gonna heat it all up just because, as you know, vegan cheeses are also made from starch, so it kind of cooled down and became solid, which is not something we want. After half an hour, we take our beauty, lovely lady, Miss Lasagna. She's Italian. We're taking her out of the oven. Be careful, because it's hot. And it's been a minute. Ooh, looks nice, doesn't it? I feel like it looks nice already. But we're gonna try yassify it. As vegans, you know, we always try to create something that looks indistinguishable from foods based on cruelty. And this is what we're doing here. We're attempting like a cheesy crust with this starchy bechamel remains. It's lasagna. It's messy. It's all good.
Smells so good.
Nice. And after we're done kind of unsuccessfully spreading it around, because it's not very liquid, we're gonna put it into the oven for another 10 minutes. Bye, girl. See you in 10. Finally, it's time. Now is the time. There she is. After grilling, after cheesing, after baking. Wah. Awa. Awa, wah, wah. Awa, wah, wah, wah. Now, if this is not a lasagna, then I don't know what is. The hardest part is going to be to wait for this to cool down a little so that we don't burn our tongues. Bilateral stimulation so that she cools down quicker. Just kidding. I'm just inflicting pain on myself. Something I do regularly. Pew, pew.
Look at all those layers. She looks good.
It's time to cut it. Gigi, come here. Look at what we made. Made this gooey, cheesy, tomatoey, umami, beauty called lasagna. She may not look like much, but she is everything to me. Now for the taste test. She's hot!
What would you have done differently?
Nothing. She's perfect. And there you have it. Perfect vegan lasagna for those who are lazy, depressed, and in dire need of comfort food on a day like today, which is any day you're watching this. Let me know if you want to see more content in English. Like and follow for more. And of course, be vegan or stay vegan.
Bye.